Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your Friday HSM Hangout. My name is Jordan Roberts. Today we have a very special event for everybody. This is our HSM Year in Review. What we're going to do is, throughout the entire year, the entire team has been hard at work bringing lots of innovation to the HSM platform. Today we want to show you why all this hard work is relevant to your business, and also share a presentation where you guys can access later and watch a lot of the YouTube videos that we put out there, subscribe, get a lot of great content. So we're going to kick it off with just a couple of quick questions to understand who's joined us today. First question I always like to ask is, what kind of brand CNC machines everybody's running out there. We've got a pretty strong Haas partnership. We see a lot of Haas customers joining us week over week, a lot of the same people, but we also see a lot of other customers using other machines. So please, in the chat window, this is live, this is interactive, shout out your Instagram handles, shout out your companies, your business, your website, who you are, shout out what kind of machines you're using, tell us what industries you're in, let us know. We like having these things be interactive, and that's why we do them week over week. Great, thanks for voting, everybody, appreciate that. Look at this distribution here. Really interesting here, and no, not a big surprise to see Haas at the top of the leaderboard, but a lot of others out there. So guys, please shout out what machines you're using. Let us know. Al, this is one I always like to ask too. How long have you been on the HSM platform? Now this is going to include Fusion. So for those of you that don't know, we have three products. We have Inventor HSM, we have HSNworks for SolidWorks customers, and then we have the Fusion product, which is really a product development platform, which is cloud-based, and it's truly revolutionary. So let us know. Great, thanks for voting, everybody. Wow, the speed at which you're voting is just phenomenal here today. I like to share the results with everybody. So take a look. Great distribution, almost even across the board, where we've got brand new users just a couple of months, and then our returning veterans for 6 months or more. So thank you so much for joining us week over week. And if this is your first one you've ever hung out with us out, same place, same time, every Friday we do these. I'd like to understand what kind of CAM software everybody's using. Now I want to see the HSM be the winner here, but of course I'm biased because I do represent that product line. But let us know. And if you're using something else in the other, please, shout out what it is. We've got a really deep technical bench on our team that comes from industry, and we love understanding where everybody's at in their journey. And look at this distribution, pretty interesting stuff here. 75% of the audience today is on the HSM platform. That is just phenomenal to see, and it's really no surprise if we look at the data and the number of seats shipped throughout the world. A couple more questions here, guys, and we'll hop right into the year in review. Also like to understand what industries everybody's supporting, and please let us know. If you're not being represented here, shout out in the chat windows. We've got application engineers in the background too, so if you're struggling with a part or have a question about something as we're going through things, shout out your question, we'll get it answered. All right, so we've got all that covered. We're going to hop right into the HSM Year in Review. So, Al, real quick, how's the mountain looking? I'll take Al's silence as it's looking great.
Sorry, it's looking good, Jordan. I had myself on mute. You're doing such a good job there.
No worries. Awesome. So we're switching it up today, guys. We normally do PowerPoint presentations, but I thought, look, this is the HSM Year in Review. We've had a lot of fun stuff happening. We're gonna take you on this journey, and it has felt a bit like climbing a mountain. So first of all, I'd like to introduce the Fusion 360 Ultimate Platform. For those of you that don't know, Fusion 360 is the product development platform that is much more than just CAD/CAM. We're incorporating an IoT property of it as well. You're going to be seeing some absolutely phenomenal technology based around this platform. This truly is at the center of what we call the future of making things. So you'll see a lot of content out there from Autodesk describing how manufacturers have been forced due to consumer demand and changes in the marketplace to change how they manufacture products and literally retool their shops to be more competitive in the marketplace. With the introduction of Fusion 360 Ultimate, you will receive a lot of the capability that you'd have currently received inside of Inventor HSM and HSMworks packages. And the price point is just absolutely phenomenal. I want to bring everybody's attention to this because really why it's important for our customer base is the Fusion platform allows you to collaborate with everybody on your team in a way that wasn't really possible before this product even came to market. And one of the nice things about this Prezi is that when we send out the link to everybody, you're going to have direct links right to these YouTube videos. Now the video is coming through, but the audio is not. So when you get the link to this presentation, you'll have your one-stop shop for all of these presentations. And Mike Matera did an excellent job covering our 4-axis wrapping inside of Fusion. So I definitely encourage everybody to, when we send out the recording, click on these links, watch these videos, and then go subscribe. Mike posted this on his personal YouTube page. But again, all of this information is right there. Now we're going to jump in. Fusion 360 Ultimate, you've got 5-axis capability inside of it now. Again, Mike Matera doing a great job, new to the Autodesk team, and just adding a ton of value with this content. Al, I believe you might even be able to show us some tips and tricks inside of Fusion later on. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think we'll show you some probing like this in Fusion. I think we might even show some 4-axis in Inventor and try and dive into a couple of the products later.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I tell you guys, I've been really laser focused on the Inventor HSM and HSMworks platforms for about 2 years now, and seeing the speed at which the Fusion team is able to release new developments, new technology is just, there's nothing like it in industry. And if you guys haven't tried this yet, you owe it to yourself and your business to download a trial and take a look. Especially if you're a SolidWorks customer, you guys are going to really, really love this stuff. So as we continue our journey up the mountain, I want to take a quick second and stop on HSMworks 2017. Our SolidWorks customers have been patiently waiting for a release and some new capability. And Al, really quickly, could you just maybe touch on a couple of the things that we really want to be showing today inside of the SolidWorks platform? I think we might have lost Al there. Anyways, we've got a new release of HSMworks 2017, and we're going to be showing you exactly what we're bringing to market here later on in the podcast. So I don't want to take any of Al's thunder, but you can read just as well as I can. These are some of the line items that we're looking for inside of that new release. As always, we had a really big year with the education team. For those of you that have friends and family that are students and educators, you might have heard of the name Ivan May. We've been working very closely, and Ivan specifically, he's been working with the H-Techs. We've been getting in front of the students. The students have been rapidly adopting this technology. They've been using Fusion to create projects. They've started their own companies. We've truly seen a shift in disruption in technology, and how Autodesk has been able to democratize technology, bring that to market, has allowed our customers to really get a one-up on the competition. Today, very, very proud to mention that we have the most number of students using our software. So as you're running a business and you're looking at, okay, where's my talent pool? What's the software that they know? Well, now, since the software is so easy to use and intuitive, what you'll be able to do as an employer is you'll be able to find somebody who's smart and talented and has a lot of potential, and potentially not with a lot of bad habits, and they can pick up this technology and they can learn it very, very rapidly. The other thing is there's a ton of resources where you can self-educate online. We'll include some of those on the email that we're going to send out this afternoon. But I personally started going through, I believe it was a Udemy program that's a complete product design program. It's free and it's completely on the Fusion platform. It's absolutely phenomenal. For those of you that don't know, Autodesk is really, really heavy in field marketing. We love getting out in front of the customers. We host an event called Autodesk University. And if you don't know about Autodesk University, pay attention. This is the big event for our customers. This year we had John Saunders from NYC, CNC, and Tormach, and they set up an entire booth where you could go and with no CAD/CAM experience at all, have the opportunity to cut a part right there. You could make a little Autodesk keychain and engrave your name on the back of it. I don't know if they're going to be doing this again next year, but it was a big hit, and definitely subscribe to John's channel. He's adding a ton of value for those that are interested in learning. And the Autodesk University, that's where you can go and step up your accreditations. You can take classes and you can get certified and become more valuable to an employer. It's definitely worth going. This was my 3rd year attending the event, and it is hands down my personal favorite event at Autodesk. And just really quickly, I want to dive into the precision pumpkin. Now this is John right here, and John uses a lot of Tormach. He uses Fusion. His channel is just adding a ton of value here. And what you're seeing is John setting up a pumpkin inside of his Tormach machine. Now I understand that a lot of you won't be doing this, but he does add a ton of value and is just really providing the community with great resources outside of the Autodesk community. And then also we have our Expert Elite program, which we'll touch on later. This is great. I wish the audio worked for everybody so you can see. We'll just kind of fast forward to some of the fun stuff. You can see we got our pumpkin modeled up here. And now we're making some seeds fly. Some pretty fun stuff here. I also want to bring attention to our partners, Kalita Racing. These guys are doing phenomenal work, and they're using Inventor HSM. If you haven't seen this video already, please take a look. For those of you that are interested in motorsports, these guys have a great shop. They run Haas, they run fast, and they're always in the winner's circle. Top Fuel Dragsters, that's a precision game. And these guys were able to use Autodesk technology to really streamline their process and their operations and just become more profitable, more efficient. And that ultimately is what's getting them into the winner's circle. So here we're looking at Inventor HSM Pro. We got Tim Evans. And I would just encourage everybody to, follow Kalita Racing. They've got some really great stuff going on over there. And you can see some of the parts that they're making with Inventor HSM technology, just great stuff. Really, really short cycle times, really, really short programming times. And that gets back to the nature of why we're all here. It's that integrated CAD/CAM workflow. That's truly changing our industry. And, it doesn't matter whether you're an Inventor, SolidWorks, or the cloud. It's all good. The workflows are all the same. I'd also like to highlight Titan. Our boy Titan over at Titans of CNC has launched a free training program. Now, for those of you looking to step up your career, this program is completely free. You can sign up at academy.titansofcnc.com. Here's Titan talking about how he's able to give the software away for free because he's got his awesome TV show, which if you haven't seen it, please check that out as well. I've been through some of Titan's program, and I can tell you this is not This is not a marketing thing, guys. This is Titan truly giving a phenomenal free education platform for those that are interested in the HSM workflow. You're going to learn a ton, but it's much more than just software. So Titan's actually showing you how to start your own machine shop, how to be successful, how to compete, how to run fast, and how to win. So again, guys, this is huge. Everybody right now, if you've got a computer going, just open up a new browser, go to Titans of CNC Academy and sign up for that. Take a look. It's absolutely phenomenal. The last thing I want to talk about are Autodesk sponsored events. We were at, for everybody that knows, Haas has their demo days. So across the world, the same day, you've got these big events where, we've got partners in industry going to Haas and customers, and everyone's checking everything out. Well, this past year, the HSM product line was represented at 25 demo day locations. Just absolutely phenomenal. It was a full-on blitz. We did 15 high-speed machining events, and we're actually doubling down on that for next year. You're going to be seeing the HSM product line, whether it's Inventor, HSNworks for SolidWorks customers, or up in the cloud for Fusion 360 and Fusion Ultimate customers. You're going to be seeing us out in the field at a Haas HFO near you, cutting parts, showing you how to improve your business. So please come out. If you see one of those, let us know that you want to show up. We'll get you all covered. We're really, really excited about what we got planned for next year. Going up to the top of the mountain here, social media, so important for everybody. This is where our customers collaborate. This is where we build community. For those of you that might not be that hip to social, this is an opportunity for you guys to really build your own brand as someone that maybe has some really great chops as a machinist. As a company, it's a way for you guys to win more bids by showing off the capability that you have. I know our buddy Dave Precise over at Fifth Axis, he does a great job on the social media stuff. I want to give a shout out to our CAM Expert Elite programs. We got Neil Stein. Neil has been a great advocate for the technology. He's been contributing. Neil, I apologize. I didn't have enough room on the screen to give you props, but I'm giving you some verbal ones right now. I also want to shout out Rob Lockwood. And guys, Rob was a special guest in one of our HSM Hangouts. So if you missed that, go back, check it out. Rob is definitely a power user. We've got Lawrence from the Netherlands. Lawrence, absolutely phenomenal guy. Look at him, 7,000 posts. Just insane. And the guy runs a machine shop. I mean, how does he have the time to do all this stuff? We got Seth. Everybody, this is a place where you can build your own professional brand. You can collaborate. Also want to point out the Idea Station. There aren't too many multi-billion-dollar software companies in the world that invite their customers to openly collaborate and upvote ideas and capability and see that capability be directly reflected back into the product. So if there's something that you just got to have, put it out there. Go to the Idea Station. It's really easy to find. You just go to our CAM forum. You click on Ideas, and you can submit your idea. You can create your own profile. You can get some brand recognition. You can build your social currency. So whether you're just looking to land a great job, whether you're looking to get more bids for your company, these are a really great way to establish your reputation within the HSM community. And I'll tell you, this is the most active CAM forum on the planet. It's just truly phenomenal stuff. For those of you that ever have questions about post-processors, one of the nice things is that our post-processors, not only are they free, but they're based in JavaScript. And if you got a question, you can go to cam.autodesk.com/posts, or you could submit your question on the CAM forum, and we have our own users actively helping other users. It's truly a community and a phenomenal place. So if you're using HSM technology today and you don't use the forum, you are absolutely missing out on quick answers.
I'm just going to jump in, Jordan. Sorry I was on mute earlier. I don't think you can emphasize enough how important that community is, both for us as developers to be engaged, but you as users to engage with us there. And again, a huge, huge shout out to the expert elites and everybody else that helps. So, like you said, Seth, Lawrence, Rob, Neil, these are users that are helping to contribute to the community. So as a year-end thing, we really want to make sure that they know that we're very thankful for their part in it.
Absolutely. I haven't seen anything like it, Al, personally. And, you know, when I think about what makes a technology great, sure, it's awesome that we have, you know, really great adaptive toolpaths, and sure, it's great that it's integrated and easy to use. But the thing that's just beautiful, the thing that's just phenomenal, the thing that sets us apart from any other CAM program on the marketplace today is the community, is our customers and their willingness to help out other customers. I mean, this is just absolutely phenomenal. So guys, please log into the forum and see exactly what we're talking about. It's just one of those places you got to bookmark and go, and that's where you're going to get your answers. The community is just, I mean, we can't stress it enough. We're so thankful that people have engaged with the community and brought it up to what it is. Because I remember, Al, when I first started, the community was this really great idea that was pretty active, but now it's just robust. I'd also like to bring to everybody's attention that Autodesk is much more than a 2D drafting company. They're much more than AutoCAD. And in fact, if everybody has a browser open, feel free to go to www.autodesk.com/make, because if you're running a business and you're trying to have your one-stop shop for all your manufacturing needs, Autodesk has quickly become the brand that is synonymous with manufacturing and the make portion. What we're looking at here are a couple of screenshots I pulled from this website. And what you're going to see is, okay, for those of us that maybe are interested in getting into 3D printing, you know, we still have our machining business, but we want to be able to take on more bits. We want to be more flexible. We want to maybe diversify what we can take on. NetFab, an incredible product. I'd highly encourage anyone that's interested in 3D printing to not only look at the 3D printers that Autodesk puts out there into the marketplace, but also take a look at the NetFab technology. And for those of you that are doing, you know, industrial additive, metal printing, things of that nature, that technology is a game changer, and I would definitely encourage you to check out NetFab Ultimate as well. That's solving really big multi-million-dollar problems for some large companies, but then we also have offerings for people that are just looking to run a 3D printer and make a few things on the side. We also, I'd like to point out, for those of you that might be familiar, say, with the FeatureCam product, well, Delcam was actually acquired by Autodesk, and I believe that was on August 1st. We announced it at IMTS. So now, if you come to Autodesk and you've got a CNC machine, there's absolutely no reason why you'd have to go anywhere else to run that equipment, whether it's Haas, whether it's your really nice Makino, it doesn't matter. We have solutions that cover every part of the market. We are truly your one-stop shop for make. And lastly, TrueNest. Well, we get a lot of requests. People might be running a laser. They might need to find ways to improve their nesting capability. It might be taking a lot of engineering time. I have a good friend that works on the TrueNest team, and some of the numbers that I'm seeing that are coming out of that group are truly phenomenal. So if you got any nesting going on, do yourself a favor, get a hold of a TrueNest representative, go take a look at this technology. I've been seeing some staggering numbers coming out of that group. I'd also like to, you know, again, this is all about the year in review. I don't know how to say this, Al, but just thank you so much. Guys, we have over 100,000 people that have downloaded this technology in the last couple of years. I just checked this morning. We have 107,172 friends that are on the HSM platform, and this is specific to Inventor and SolidWorks. This is not including Fusion. I wasn't able to get that number, but if we incorporate Fusion, just a tremendous platform being offered here. But who's using it? Take a look. This is SIM data. Anyone can get these SIM data reports. It's all over the internet. And you can see across the bottom, you see the competition. But if you look here on this far left corner, You can see this is Autodesk right there. The students, they're downloading and they're using Autodesk technology exponentially more than the competition. So as we're looking as businesses, as business owners, as employees looking to stay relevant, you know, when disruption happens, it happens fast. And students are the future, so just please pay attention to this.
On that student note too, just a reminder for the teachers, if you haven't started looking at the Titan Academy curriculum, I highly recommend using some phenomenal example files to test your skills on.
Yeah, that Titan Academy is, you know, Titan saw a need, and he went out there and he executed. It is just phenomenal. But here's another interesting thing, Al. So everybody take a quick look here. These are students. This is business. Across the bottom, take a look. There's every kind of CAM company under the sun. A lot of times, you know, the technology was developed quite a long time ago. The students, they've spoken. They want to use easy to use, beautifully designed user interfaces. And that reflection carries right over to business. And this is just from 2012 through 2015. And take a look, Autodesk on the left here, just crushing everything out there in the marketplace today. Truly phenomenal data here. So, thank you so much, everybody. We couldn't do it without you. Seeing your success is just, again, the core part as to why everybody on the team loves their job, seeing how we're able to help customers become more profitable, solve complex problems. This is why we do what we do, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for making this an incredible year. Al, I want to pass it over to you. I want to take a look at maybe some Fusion technology, maybe some HSMworks technology for SolidWorks. What are you thinking?
I can show a little bit of what's going on in SolidWorks. We'll dance over Fusion, and we've got our post-guru extraordinaire, Matt Nichols. I think he'll show us a little bit of what's going on in Inventor HSM.
Awesome.
So I'll just go ahead and start sharing my screen. Let me know when you can see it.
Looking good. Oh, what do we got going on here, Al?
Okay, so this is an example of some multi-axis positioning, and no new toolpaths that I'm showing in this one, but I wanted to draw attention to some of our users are using third-party simulation tools. So that could be something like a Complete, it could be a VeriCut, it could be an NC Simul. Many of these tools give you third-party validation on your expensive machine tools. You don't want to check your own homework. You want to sometimes use a third-party tool. And what we've done for those tools, and you'll continue to see additional post-processors for some of those that appear in the near future, if you look in the work coordinate system, in the model, the fixture definition area, there's now a spot where you can define the fixture attach point. And it may appear that that doesn't do anything. And it doesn't when you're simply using the product as standalone. But when you go to use one of these other post-processors, we can package up the stock model, we package up the tool path, we package up the data about the tool, and that passes over for this other simulation. And this gives you a place so that it's a single button click to import into these other tools and do your simulation. So that fixture attach point is going to be helpful for some of those advanced workflows for those third-party solutions. The next thing I wanted to show, and this is rolling out in both Inventor HSM, it's in HSMworks 2, and will be in Fusion very shortly, is our updated secondary spindle operations, which are spindle chuck and spindle return. So in this case, I have a job that's machining the front side of my part, and then I'm going to part it off. I'm going to finish it in the secondary spindle, and I need to come in and grab that part and transfer it. So you'll see an option for spindle chuck to grab on. We can perform this parting operation and return that secondary spindle back to start doing the work. Some of the things you might want to notice, because it's starting to highlight where we're headed with confinements and turning. If you look at the heights plane for where this chuck happens, it's starting to look more parametric like our drilling operations, our planes and milling, where we can reference from the front of the model plus an additional offset. We can grab on to a selected point, reference from the stock back, stock front, starting to make some more associative relationships to these sorts of planes. So like I said, expect to see the same sort of thing start to trickle its way into how we confine our turning toolpaths. So I think that was something worth pointing out. And the last is something that's in beta mode. There's a few people on the webinar here today that may use beta mode already. If you're not using beta mode, you can. I don't suggest using it in production, but we do like to expose the stuff we're working on that's getting close for you to test and see how it's going. Beta mode is easy to turn on, so it's a little hint for those that took the time to join the webinar. If you hold Control and Shift and right-click, you're going to get a new right-click menu. This appears in both the desktop products. Slightly different workflow in Fusion, and you have to be a little more careful in Fusion because it doesn't automatically turn off when you reset in Fusion. In our desktop products, if you restart the application, you won't be in beta mode until you force it on. But here's some new toolpaths that are going to be out very, very soon. It's our blend. I think Rob Lockwood started the Instagram tag, blend is the new flow. But you can start to test this where it's going to allow a constant step over across a series of surfaces and really be used in situations where you may have used flow in the past without having to set up the ISO curve. So you'll see it's as simple as setting the faces I'm machining and essentially like a morphing between the two of those. This will be the foundation for some true 5-axis finishing too, because now we've got toolpath lines that are laying correctly across the surface. And Neil is mentioning in the comments that he started the blend is the new flow tag. So not only is he all over our forums, he's all over Instagram and a part of these webinars too. So another shout out for you there, Neil. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you have. This is a great place for you to engage on the forums, engage with us socially, let us know how it's going. These beta features are actively in development, so these are things where we can provide quick feedback, and when you're finding things, please continue to share it with us. I see some people asking about beta mode and Fusion, so that's probably a good chance for us to transition over to Fusion. There's obviously a lot more happening in HSMWorks, but let's try and hit all 3 products here. So the first thing I want to draw attention to is over the course of the year, we've really started to put a lot of effort into making sure that we deliver a solid set of example files so you can reverse engineer what's going on in the software and new users can see how to use the product in different scenarios. If you're helping other users out, you're teaching, you're answering questions, I really encourage you to go to those sample files. And if you want to share stuff with us, that you think would be useful, then please reach out. So in this example, I'm showing a gearbox housing, maybe a couple neat little tricks. We can show how I've got 2 sets of vices that I can toggle on and off here to define each of my setups. In this case, it's my second setup. I'm facing off of a lot of material, and it's one of those little quality of life things, I guess, if you will, where in the past the facing operation was simply a pattern down, and if you ended on the left side of the part, it was always going to return to the right side of the part to do the next layer. So it was just a pattern of the exact same toolpath going down. But we know if you're over on the left side, then why don't you just work your way back and go back and forth. So you'll see when you use multiple depth cuts on facing now, it's going to work itself back and forth the part for those multiple Z cuts. So hopefully you find that one helpful. I'm going to throw this in there because there's a few beta things to take a peek at. I just enabled text commands. This is because we've got, I'm going to shout out to Ben Benjamin Bowles, you get some great products that you're doing. The lights, great user, helping a lot of our users too. You didn't get a shout out for being an expert elite, but I'm going to answer your question live here. Beta mode in Fusion is cam.betamode, and you're going to do a /on that will enable it. Cam.betamode /off will disable it. The one thing I need to make you very aware of for those that have used beta mode in the desktop products, when you turn it on, that's in Fusion. The difference is it will remember it even after a restart of Fusion, so please make sure you turn it off after you're done testing the new features. There could be some kernel things that are also in beta mode that you might be unaware of, so please make sure you turn it off when you're done testing that new functionality. I'm going to turn it on quickly though, because there's another neat little thing that I want to show here. So let beta mode on, and let's jump over to probing, because that was one of the new things that came in Ultimate. And remember, there's this folder now in the tutorials or in the samples to show Ultimate. So let's go to probing. If you haven't launched this file, I'd launch the file, and you can start to see some of the scenarios where probing can be utilized to set your work coordinate system in process. I think the guys did a very good job of how the probing is implemented. You're simply going to make sure you selected a probing tool. We're shipping with many of the probing tools that would ship with the Haas machine. And then when you pick your geometry, it's going to automatically make the correct type of selection. So I select a cylinder, and we're automatically probing that bore. If I select an inside bore, we're automatically going to probe it. But using clearance, so in this case, we're saying we want to assume there's an island to avoid collisions. You can always force it to do something a little bit different if you don't want to have that extra motion. And then I enabled beta mode, so here's something to play with in beta mode, a little trick for those of you that joined. When I select a single face in the X or Y plane, I'm going to default to Y surface, but in beta mode we now have defining the angle along that Y surface. So that's a little one you can play with there. It is in beta mode, meaning it's not supported in all the posts yet, but a little trick for those of you that have joined today. The next thing we want to take a look at, we've got our true multi-axis toolpaths, multi-axis swarf and multi-axis contour. So you can see using the tip of the tool driving along a curve, and in the case of swarf, we're using the side of the tool. So let's just do that one quickly. Again, I'll grab a tool from my library. We're filtering out the tools that make the most sense, so we'll grab that tool. In my geometry selection, I can grab a series of faces that automatically selected the tangent faces, so in just a few clicks I'll have a swarf toolpath around this part. Now don't go and assume that it's limited. You can come in here and you can start to adjust the cutting mode, take a look at the tool tips, and really see what you can't do to leverage swarf. Now the last thing I should probably mention is some of the additional 5-axis functionality that's a little more hidden inside of all of the products. It was actually brought to my attention that some users find it confusing, and that is the tool orientation. So with the tool orientation, with any one of our 2D operations, inside of the geometry tab, you have this tool orientation that then programs the rotary axes to reposition and machine at a different side of the part. So that tool orientation is your other method of 5-axis machining within all 3 of our products. The confusion that I should probably mention that many of you may or may not be aware of, if I have no setups and I go ahead and I start any operation, a facing operation, you'll see that I automatically created this setup on the fly so I can begin my process of machining. So I simply select a tool, I say OK, and this operation was created automatically, but we defaulted to a Z direction that in this case was incorrect. And sometimes some new users are going into this facing operation saying, oh, well, I'm going to fix that with tool orientation. That's not what tool orientation is for. Tool orientation is for programming the machine to tip the axis over. In this case, this setup that was created on the fly, we should edit that and redefine the direction. I'm going to throw another little quick trick, and sorry for dragging the webinar on long, but I see a lot of people using the software not knowing you can graphically manipulate the origin. So just a quick trick. If you click the stem of any one of these three axes, you're now in a mode where you're defining the direction of that axis. So again, I could click the stem of the x-axis, and I could pick a perpendicular face, a cylindrical face, or an edge, and it would be perpendicular to a face, along a cylinder, or along an edge to define the axis direction. We can also use the arrows on the end to flip it, and if you click the point, we can then define the node. So a couple little graphical tricks for how you can manipulate that coordinate system. That's been there all along, but I felt I should just show that. So that's the 5-axis. The last little secret 5-axis toolpath, if you will, inside of 3D Contour, most of you, and if you don't know, here's my other little trick. Shaft and holder detection is a super powerful technique for ensuring that you create 3D toolpaths that don't collide with your model. They take the holder into account, the shaft, all of that, and calculates a toolpath that won't collide. But in situations where you still get a collision and you want a short tool, part of what Fusion Ultimate delivers, and again, this is in all 3 of our Ultimate products, is something called multi-axis tilting. So now, instead of moving the tool out of the way, it's going to tip the tool over. Produce the same cutter path, but tip the tool over so it avoids a collision and uses all 5 axes of your machine to get at the part. So another little quick thing to look at, and again, you can look at that in any one of the 3 products. The last thing that I wanted to show is the work holding folder. Some of our partners have reached out to us and let us know that we could share their geometry for their work holding devices. So Raptor Work Holding has generously shared much of their work holding products. That's now available in the product to make it very easily accessible to you. Chick, 5th Axis, Orange Vice, Bryce. We continue to get contacted by more and more vendors and just feel like it is another way we can improve the experience for you so you're not stuck recreating the models of devices that are the same for everybody. So keep an eye on that. We'll continue delivering updates inside of there. There is a question regarding the shaft and holder detection, so I'll clarify that is available in any one of our 3D toolpaths. So if you have one of our HSM-based products with 3D toolpaths, you can use shaft and holder detection. You need the ultimate level if you want to use the 5-axis tipping or tilting to kind of take that to the next level. So there's a couple quick tricks to be somebody who presents the habits that I say you should present. I'm going to go ahead and turn cam.beta mode back off again so I can make sure that when I'm doing my production work I don't cause problems. And I need to make sure it's off because if you didn't know, we didn't put it in the year-end review, but our Matsura 330 just showed up at Pier 9 and we've been having a lot of fun getting that up and going. So better make sure I'm in a state to be running that well. Matt, if I could go ahead and switch over you as presenter, why don't you pull up Inventor HSM and show some of the things that you like from Inventor HSM.
Absolutely can. Awesome. So in Inventor HSM, a couple of things I'm going to show is the 4th axis wrapping that we got. It is awesome. It's super easy to use. And then I'm going to show a couple other tips that can kind of help speed things up. So first thing I'm going to show is on this part, I'm going to do some 4th axis wrapping, doing pocketing through these little grooves, adaptive in the pocket, and contouring in here. And so you can see how easy it is. So first off, 3D pocket. I'm going to go in there and pick my tool. I've got little 1/8" bowl nodes in here. And then I'm going to go in my geometry tab, and here I'm going to go wrap toolpath. And I'm just going to pick the outside diameter of the part. And then for the pocket, I can just come in here and select there. So a couple clicks, I've got that. I can hit OK. And then we've got our 4th axis toolpath wrapped around there. So pretty easy and really awesome.
Matt, can you do me a favor? And I think it bears mentioning because there is some confusion around it. Can you open that toolpath back up and just show the plane selection? We can do an entire video on, sorry, not the plane section, the geometry selection. We could do an entire video on this, but I think it's important to know that the wrapped cylinder that you're selecting is where the tool is going to be correctly following the geometry that you defined. That's an important note because it's very difficult to model the correct 4-axis geometry without knowing the diameter of the cutter. It's going to in some way gouge the part unless you took the diameter of the cutter into account when you modeled the part. So defining that wrap cylinder is going to control where the toolpath is correctly following the geometry selected. And you've got some flexibility in how you adjust that. So I'd encourage anybody using 4-axis just to play with that function, try and better understand it, and keep an eye out for videos in the future that explain it in more depth. Thank you, Matt, and sorry for the interruption.
That's cool. Yeah, and like we talked about before, Mike Matera has some awesome videos on operations like this, so it really explains a lot better in detail and what's going on. So I highly recommend looking up those videos on his YouTube page. Cool. So then with that, I'm going to go ahead and do like an adaptive in this pocket. So again, 2D adaptive, keeping the same tool. Turn on the wrap toolpath, and then I can pick the outside diameter again, or I can come in here and pick this. So kind of as Al was mentioning, depending on which surface you pick is depending on how the tool is going to go. So I'll pick that bottom surface, and then I'll just pick this bottom contour. Okay, and then let's do just a quick simulation on this, just to see kind of how things are going. And it's really fun watching this.
So while we're watching that, a quick response to Lauren's. We got some power users on here today. Wow. Lauren's thought that it was worth bringing up. There is some similarities and some differences between HSMworks and Inventor HSM in regards to 4-axis. In HSMworks, very early in the new year, we'll have this same wrapping of 2-axis strategies. Today, HSMworks users have the ability to wrap 3-axis strategies, and what we've released in Inventor HSM and Infusion is the ability to wrap 2-axis strategies. There is a reason for it in regards to how the part can sometimes be gouged when wrapping 3-axis, but you can effectively machine the same types of geometry in HSMworks today. Watch for an early release in the new year with this identical functionality though.
Cool. All right, and the last one I'm going to show real quick is the 2D contour, doing the wrapping. So here again, wrap tool, pick the contour, and then grab both these. So super quick and easy. So that's basically the 4th axis wrapping. Next, I want to kind of just show a couple tips. So as I was showing in the beta mode, Inventor HSM has beta mode as well. So Control Shift right click and do beta mode. One of the new things that we have in here is this little line indicator. So in the past, if you had multiple setups in a part, maybe you didn't know which one it was. If you're not looking at where the checkbox is on the setup, you don't know exactly where that toolpath is going to go. So here is a clear indicator of where it's going to actually insert that new toolpath. So wherever you drag this line is where that new toolpath is going to go. So awesome update on that one. And one of the tips that I like to show a lot is if you ever want to use tool information inside of your step over and all that stuff and inside your Toolpaths, you can always pull parameters from your tooling or anywhere else in your operations by holding down Shift and hovering over the diameter. You can actually see the parameter name that will be pulled, or that you can pull to do calculations. So for the tool diameter, one of the things I like to always do is go into like a 2D adaptive, and let's say for optimal load, this is doing percentage, but this could be on anything else. I can do an expression, and then you can see the tool diameter here. So some quick and easy ways to do calculations in here based on tools, tool sizes, maybe even like per step downs. If I'm doing multiple depths here, I can do tool boot length minus, whatever you may want to kind of keep off the end of it. So different ways that you can do operations to kind of better speed up workflows. Cool.
That's great, Matt. Thanks for the power tips. So Jordan, I think we're getting close on the hour. Why don't we transfer back to you? There's some questions that are popping in here. Jordan, on that live presentation you got, I don't know if you had contact details for the team, but I know he's got contact details on the forum. Again, strongly encourage everybody to engage on the forum, and we've already seen some of those Power Forum users here that are part of the community. So again, a continued shout out for the help, your help throughout the year, growing the product and growing the community. Again, Lawrence and Neil Stein, and many others that are a big part of the community. So I hope to have many more names next year to talk about. We are talking about early in the next year, having a webinar that kind of looks forward. This one was a little bit of a look back. Anyway, let's pass it back to you, Jordan.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining, Al, Matt, everybody in the audience. Just to reiterate, this is really, we couldn't put all this stuff together if there wasn't such a strong community out there. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. This is your Friday HSM Hangout. Please, if you find any value, tell a friend, tune in, go out there, take advantage of the free education resources that are at your fingertips, whether it's through Titan, whether it's through the Autodesk Knowledge Network. And as always, if anyone has any questions, they want to get in touch with somebody from the Autodesk team, please use the forum. Feel free to send me an email as well directly. I'm super easy to find on LinkedIn, but pretty much everybody at Autodesk, it's just their first dot last name at Autodesk. So thank you so much for joining us. I am Jordan Roberts, jordan.roberts@autodesk.com. If you guys have any questions, want to get in touch with somebody on the team. And thank you so much for making the HSM platform so amazing. It truly is a revolution in machining, and excited to see how we can help everybody grow their businesses next year with integrated CAD/CAM technologies. Thank you so much. Have a great day.